Why? You need to play Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology. Interesting. I have not heard of that either. Though Radiant Historia, that name sounds familiar. This is press is it press O to attack? Yeah, we're gonna look at this. I got no idea what this is about. Here we go.
One of the most brilliant things about gaming in the modern age is the vast number of choices a consumer has at their fingertips. Old games, new releases, early access, the list just goes on and on.
Yeah, I wouldn't put old games in there, I'll be real. I wouldn't particularly put old games in there because, well, Nintendo doesn't like if you play their old games.
Some games receive multiple ports to different platforms and retain some relevancy even till this day, while others are left imprisoned on now defunct hardware.
Bloodborne and Tales of the Abyss. Yeah, Tales of the Abyss is on the PlayStation 2 and then got released on the 3DS, and that's it. Oh, the Hack series. Interesting. Weren't these all the PSP, if I'm not wrong?
And one of these games in particular, by the name of Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology, may be one of them.
Interesting, on the 3DS? Huh.
Released back in 2018 for the 3DS, Radiant Historia PC is a remake of the original with additional content. I did some digging online to see what games out there I'd never even heard of, but sounded interesting, and this one ticked.
Okay, so Radiant Historia and on the DS, Atlas. By Atlas? Oh, that's kind of interesting. And then we have Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology. Okay.
All the boxes. Interestingly enough, it was co-developed by Atlas and Headlock. Atlas is known for the Persona and Shin Megami Tensei series, while Headlock is a Japanese-based development company whose last work was Arcadia Saga back in 2012. So, let us cut to the
Arcadia Saga. Wait a minute. This sounds familiar. Hold up. Arcadia Saga. I need to Google this. This sounds familiar. This does sound familiar. Maybe a little bit. I think I've seen like a video of like this being covered, because I like to watch videos about obscure MMOs.
Chase. Why am I even talking about this? What makes this game so interesting?
What's this game about, man? Any maidens? Is it actually interesting? We'll see.
Interesting. Well, where do I begin? Ah, yes. Let us talk about the gameplay first. The game takes place across various zones, and within these zones are enemies, chests, and interactive items. As you progress through the game, you get abilities to cut down vines, use barrels as bombs, and sneak past foes, so as long as you have the MP to do so. Some chests are out in the open and others you have to find. Regarding the enemies, you can interact with them before combat as well with a good old whack. Whether the enemy runs into you or you into them, the battle then happens in another screen. On the surface, this game is your standard turn-based RPG, but quickly the game lets you know that it is anything but.
Interesting. So we have an enemy grid that's 3x3. We have a party of 3. That's really interesting, huh? Cool. Also, the sprite work is really pretty.
Combat takes place with your characters affixed to the right of the screen and the enemies to the left. But what makes this enjoyable is the use of the grid. A player can move enemies to other tiles, which allows them to literally stack up multiple enemies in one area. Then the next character can take advantage of that via skills, magic, mana burst, pretty much anything.
Interesting. Works kind of like Brown Dust 2. Yes, I've played this game. Yes, it's a Guna gacha. No, I will not elaborate.
That you can think of. This makes some battles go a lot quicker than just hitting the button and spreading your damage across multiple enemies. What also makes this fun is the use of turn swapping, which also lets the player maximize their damage. It is a refreshing take on the tried and true of turn-based combat. And just because a player can do that, this does not mean that the enemies or bosses will not throw down at the playground back at you. There have been plenty of times I got my cheeks clapped after seeing a big brain tactic crash and burn right in front of my eyes. With plenty of characters to choose from and their own little nuances, The game really opens up to being creative in battle. Ott, for example, I thought was absolute trash, but after being forced to use her in part of the story, I realized she's really not that bad. But I will have to give it up for Rosh, as whenever I had a chance to use him, I did. Him and Stock together is just too good to pass up. Additionally, each character comes with certain skills, so team composition is important as it can make
Interesting. Very interesting. Again, another RPG I've not touched. Classic.
or break certain boss fights. This game also does a great job of rewarding the player with quest completion by providing additional skills to each character occasionally. One quest in particular gives Stock access to shadow arts, which outside of Power Wave was one of my most favorite moves. And in most cases, if you are stuck on a certain boss, it may be
The sprite work is really, really pretty, and it does have maidens. It has maidens, but yeah, the sprite work is really pretty.
due to poor equipment and not the level of your characters. But by visiting the Vault of Time, you can grind a little and get access to some spicy gear, which can make all the difference. If there's one thing that this game definitely gets right, it is effort versus reward. You do not have to spend hours upon hours grinding to make progress. A short 15-minute session here and there is all it really takes, and this is something a lot of RPGs tend to forget. Moving on to the story of Radiant Historia PC, it once again starts off as your generic introduction into yet another JRPG, and then oh heist here slides Stock, the White Chronicle. Now this is where the heat comes in. The plot is separated into two different timelines. As the game plays out, you must
Interesting. So does that mean two different timelines? Does that mean we make choices and those choices affect which route we take, or do we have two stories that run next to each other? I wonder.
swap in between those timelines to further the plot of both. I will be honest with you here. Anything involving time in a game to explain the plot has always left a nasty taste in my mouth, as normally it is just a cop-out to explain inconsistencies. But with Radiant Historia,
Or it is done really poorly, so it is really confusing because it leaves insane plot holes. Time travel, okay. Because it leaves insane plot holes, like, right, Trunks? Right, Trunks. You know who you are.
appreciated how one event in Timeline A affects not only the scene after that event, but also something in Timeline B. Hopefully that does not sound too confusing, but essentially it does a wonderful job of making the player feel like what they do matters, and the world around them notices that too. Additionally, since Perfect Chronology is a remake of the original game, another section of the story has been added after the original concludes. While the additional content is nice as long as it's something meaningful, it unfortunately is a bit too much of a commitment unless you are willing to put in the time and probably use a guide or two. Getting access to the final part to me was like getting 100% in Final Fantasy X2. This part of the game would have been better for all of us.
Never mentioned Final Fantasy X-2, thank you. I'm still traumatized. Yuna is very attractive though in that one.
If it only required X number of quests to be completed and not all. Also, I think now is a suitable time to mention this. This game has voice acting and it is pretty damn good.
Well, it looks like the first stage of our mission's complete.
It won't get any easier from here forward, though. Our route back to Alistel will land us in direct conflict with the bulk of the Grand Org army.
Don't forget about the guys on our heels either.
The main cast is fully voiced, or at least the vast majority of the lines.
Ooh, very good. Also, hi, anime fan. How you doing? Pretty good. Very interesting. I like this. Voiced? I'm getting more interested by the second.
And the NPCs do weird little grunts or repeat the same line over and over again. We all know they love to talk in JRPGs, which are essentially anime shows with gameplay, and it is nice to set the game on auto and let things unfold. Mix that in with the music, and it just gets even better.
We got the upper hand!
The composer for this game was none other than Yoko Shimomura, a woman with good taste in tunes. Shimomura is known for having worked on games such as the Kingdom Hearts series, Final Fantasy XV, and Xenoblade Chronicles.
Ooh, I see this is an absolute win. Xenoblade Chronicles. Classic. Yeah, okay, interesting. You like some tunes?
If the story in this game does not move you, then her music surely will, as it feels as though you are on an epic adventure with the cast. With all of that being said, I did complete the main portion of the game in just about 30 hours and really enjoyed my time with the game. While part of me wants to push
Normal. It has difficulty.
on to obtain the true ending, I may save that for a rainy day. But if you are on the fence about trying out this game, I hope my input helps you to decide. To those of you who just realized that this game even existed, then if you don't know, now you know. But the last thing I'll say about this game is that it is one I surely will never forget. The pacing of the game, the storytelling, the combat, just this game in itself strives to do its job of entertaining the player.
I just don't have enough time to play all the games I want to play. That's the problem. I just don't have enough time.
And nothing more. It wants you to experience it, enjoy it, and move on. And knowing that makes me appreciate the game much more.
Okay, very interesting. I did not know that this... I feel like the name was familiar, but that's about it. I did not know what this game was about. I was not familiar with this game. Interesting. Hey, this might be interesting to stream at one point. 3DS emulation is a possibility. It's not too hard, especially considering how this game isn't probably that taxing to emulate likely, because it's like 2D. So yeah, we'll see. Or 2.5D, who knows. Okay, interesting. I did not know that. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe.